Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of ages, and I'm solo commentating. This is a terrifying concept. I don't know what I'm doing. We're currently seeing all the chats in the bottom right. See, I haven't commentated on PlayStation in a long time, so I have no idea how to get rid of that. So we're staying there, and we'll figure it out when we get there. But we are currently at the beautiful Hungary here in, well, Hungary. Obviously, Budapest, the land of the beautifulness, and we've got some very drifty, wet weather driving going on. Now, I will preface this, I've not commentated in over 2.5 years, so if I sound very rusty or things go horrifically wrong, that's just my excuse. But soloing, not done that in 4 years, but we'll be fine, because we've got cars and we're coming around the last corner, one-shot qualifying, and I've no idea who's going to be on pole. We're going to find out in about 5 seconds. Hopefully everyone can hear me. I think it's Canard on pole. And we'll find out in around about 5 seconds. We'll definitely Reese is second. So Canard on pole. Reese is in second. And thank you, Gaza, for saying you're good. Hopefully that box isn't too distracting of seeing everyone. So, Reese second, Rob third, Larkin in fourth. We've got Lawrence, Kinley, we've got Jason, Solo, we've got Bera, we've got Mo, Mikey, Rich, Bonnie, Rosso, Fury, Kenzie, my dear old Mason, gotta love Mason, and Jonas bringing up the rear. So, whilst we wait for a few seconds, and I need to go and find the button, and it's over here. We've got some sponsors to go through. And, of course, to Delta.app, the title sponsors of the league. All your investments in one app, make smart decisions. And there we go. We've got Next Level Racing, we have Sim Racing Setups, and we have Pure Sim Gear, Vespertine, and SimGrid. And we have some dry weather running. So this is going to be curious. Yes, check out the sim racing setups. That's bottom right, pops up on my screen. So it tells me what to say. It's always nice when that happens. So, hello Fox. Waiting for players. We have just under 2 minutes. Recently did a race around Hungary. The Inters felt good after a few laps. Now, from memory, last time I've raced on a game was F123. Tyres don't last very long around here. They explode, everything goes wrong because you can't do one-stop strategies, apparently. According to the grapevine of the internet and trusting Jess, who told me to commentate. So, we shall see in a few minutes' time what happens. I believe it would be a mandatory 2-stop. Now, I might be wrong. Like I said, I have been chucked in very much in the deep end. Soloing. And it's going to be very curious to see who does well here, who can come through the grid, who is going to be struggling. Will there be any lap run shenanigans? We shall find out. Will I curse someone today? Haven't done that in a while. And the last person I cursed was Mason, so sorry, Colin, if you're watching. This might not end well. But we shall find out in just a few moments' time. Looking forward to Sunday. Yeah, don't forget, Sunday, One Hub Racing is back. Of course, we shall hopefully be streaming, though it turns out some people who are on Discord and have PlayStation people streaming, they might not be able to work very well, because I was meant to have a co-com together. It's Max, who is somewhere in the chat. Hopefully he can say hello. But slight technical issues. It turns out, of course, PlayStation, you can't actually stream through the Discord app that way. Then I don't know why you have the Discord app on the PlayStation if you can't use it. And there he is, my fellow co-com in the chat, who's going to be doing co-com duties in the chat. He can just say hello every now and then and wish people luck. Hello Nick as well in the chat. I'm waving. I'm excited. We're looking at a beautiful screen with lots of things going on in the pit lane. It's beautiful. We've got the McLaren garage. They're all sitting down. I presume maybe ice cream. We are in the middle of summer. I think it's August or July. I can't remember where it is in real life now. But it's around there right now. But in due course, we shall be underway for what is, I believe, if I remember, 36 laps around Hungary. Yeah, thank you, Nick. No pressure. But here we go. Is it a formation lap? I think it is. Is it a formation lap? It's underway. Okay, there's no formation lap, but we are underway then. Here and down towards turn number 1. Who's it going to be? Well, it is the Haas leading. And here comes Reese up the inside. Late braking. We're going to get a little dive up the inside. Is everyone getting through turn 1 correctly? No, there is. Is that one of the Williams round at the background? I think it is. The Williams of Kinley has been spun around. And I believe that might be McHugh caught up in that as well. Around the outside, Reese trying. There's a bit of contact, a bit of front end plate flying off. Side by side, just about surviving through there as you come down into the right-hander. And let's see, all astern. The top 3 definitely have. What about further down the grid? No, there's trouble. And there is a big catch. And who was that round? Was that the McLaren? It might have been Salou round it at the back. It is. And both Williams in trouble before the first lap is even finished, and there's another car sliding around. It's Reese getting the rear end absolutely wild, and everyone is going bananas right now around here. But will we cool down? Will we see any incidents? Well, I've already cursed 2 people today by saying there wasn't any shenanigans, and it's the Williams. It's always the Williams. Every time it's Williams drivers, but at least Okiki's not here because I will curse him. Down the field, we have got... Salou got damage, I wonder. Is that the front right end plate gone? Definitely looks like. Yellow flag sector 3, and there's another car going slowly. Was that it's the Alpine going slowly and going round the outside? So Jonas has had issues further down the back, but up front, Kennard leads from Rees, Lawrence down in 3rd, Jason up into 4th. Then we've got Beret in 5th, Rob in 6th, Larkin ahead of Bonnie. Formula going up the inside in the Red Bull, down the inside, a bit of contact again, and is there going to be a little bit of a let back through there, a little bit of a push to pass there. It's a bit touring car-like. Are we going to see a switch around on board with the AMR Aston Martin, doing probably better than it will in real life, because let's be fair, it's not having a good day. It's got about as much power as the 2015 Honda, which is ironic given it's got Alonso driving it. Penalty. That's Jason, 3 seconds for exceeding track limits already. So he's had those 3 strikes, and the hammer goes down, and someone else has gone a little bit wide in the background. That might have been Larkin. Down the straight we go. Ending of lap 2, beginning of lap 3. Gazman saying maybe starts last next time. I have a great solution to this. So what we do is we just reverse the order of this race for the next one. They all have to start at the back. Solves many issues, you know. Full reverse grid. Up the inside, I think that was the McLaren diving up the inside of the... Is that... It's the Racing Bulls. It's pink. I don't remember when was this pink. I don't know, but back up the inside goes the McLaren. They're going to get through here. Hards versus the soft tyres, and if I remember correctly, I can actually get who's done all this. There we go. I can get all the mini-map correct. There we go. I remember how to do this. Don't forget to scroll through the end of the race. Yes, always got to scroll. Yeah, exactly, guys. Man, no idea this was pink. When was it pink? Can anyone confirm? When was the Racing Bulls pink? Was it Miami? I'm going to say Miami. It is Miami. There we go. So we've got the Aston Martin behind, and there, of course, up front. That's what's our leader. In the Haas, the best livery in the world, in my opinion. It's gorgeous. You can't hate the Haas livery. It looks even better this year. Of course, the Audi now, and best about said these 2 liveries, the best. Jason in 3rd, and we just scroll through the grid ever so slightly. A bit of a battle going on. 4th, 5th, and 6th position with the DRS wide open on board. with Beret. Is he going to have a little dive down in towards turn 1? Lap number 4. Down the inside he goes. Does he get the car stopped? Yes, he is. Hug the apex like your favourite granny. And now it's around the outside in towards turn number 2. And it's always difficult around here. There's always very easy to get contact. Rear wheel to front right. But he goes right around the outside. Absolutely perfect. And now what about the Mercedes trying to go around the outside in towards turn number 5? And of course, he has to back off of it. And surely he does. Yes, he does. Next job. Can Larkin overtake as well? Lawrence dropping back 2 places in the space of a few corners. Over down the field. A little bit of battle potentially growing between the Sauber, and we got the Red Bull, and that's trying to go up the inside of the Ferrari of Rosso. And of course, Rosso meaning, I believe it means red in Italian, because of course Toro Rosso, which was bull red, if memory serves correctly. So wide through the exit there, and again McHugh a little bit behind. Now just let me know, by the way, in chat, if the onboard audio is okay and you can still hear me, because if not, I shall just stay off board as best I can. Up front, 1.5 seconds, starting to stabilise. First stop, I reckon, around about lap 13. So I expect that. So here we go. Red Bull versus Ferrari. Down the straight, easy jobs round the outside, and a bit of contact down the straight for good measure. Is the Ferrari going to have a little look at the inside? Well, it will if the Red Bull goes wide. There's going to be contact here if they're not careful. And the coaching system says, no, thank you very much. And the Red Bull's still going up the inside. The old switcheroo from the Ferrari. And a bit more contact, and oh dear. Well, I mean, okay, there's solutions, and they are inside each other. So the famous overtake there from the Red Bull. If you can't overtake, go through them. Max Verstappen has taught these things a lot. And here comes the Sauber. Now, has that Ferrari got damage, I wonder? Going through, and we got Kenzie with a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits as well at the back. Now, I think that Ferrari may have damage on the floor. Let's see, on board. And definitely going slower. So, potential damage on that one. 3/10 the gap between the Mercedes and that. It seems to be the Aston Martin through the last corner. And it is Beret versus Rob down the straight on board with the Mercedes. And you'll see pull to the right-hand side. No, pull to the left-hand side. Round he goes. And up into now 4th position. Further back. Up the inside comes. That I said about the Alpine trying to make a move on the RB. I'm going to call it a Toro Rosso in a minute. You know what? It's a Toro Rosso. Maybe we'll call it Minardi. Maybe, yeah, we'll call it the Pink Minardi. And this is a Benetton, so there we go. For all your old people up there. And ahead we've got the Jordan. With, I will admit, gorgeous helmet. And very sideways through that corner. Over down the field, the Red Bull still scrobbling away with the Sauber. Can't quite get through there. And how is our dear two Williams at the back doing? There's one, there's the other. And I believe, have they stopped? And they have stopped, so they are going. Yellow flags, who is off? Is that Reese? It is. We've got a problem here. And who has had an issue? Is that a front wing off? Is the game going to let me see if the front wing's off? No, it's not. And on the outboard camera, we shall see. No damage, so I'm going to guess gone on the curb. Rear end said, you're having a laugh. And around he goes. And now down into 8th position from what was around about 3rd or 2nd position. So dropping down the field. And I will admit, it seems Fury definitely might be lagging ever so slightly. Now, is there any possibility of an audacious dive? I have the feeling it's going to be no, but he is closing pretty quickly, but thinks better of the audacious dive up the inside. In the pit lane comes Mikey then, lap 7 of 35, so my prediction of lap 9 might not too be far off. Up the inside, no, that's audacious, can't quite do it there. But, see, what you're going to have to do here is you're going to have to set him up. Oh, the other car's off, other Sauber. And there's Reese again. Now, what has happened to the Sauber this time around? Has he overcooked his tyres a little bit? Well, I think the answer to that is he's going into a barrier. Nearly. And there's big problems there, sunshine. What has happened to the rear tyres? He's got nothing left. He's got nothing left. And the cameraman doesn't want to work with me. There we go. Now, is there damage on that Sauber? He can't keep it on the road. Now, is he going to pull over to the side, let the Mercedes through? Yes, he does. And now it looks like a potential broken rear wing. Well, it's more than a broken rear wing now. And the front left end plate is gone. And it's now just about probably getting out the way of the Williams. And then, of course, the car behind and struggling all the way through. Now, is this going to be a retirement? He can barely keep it on the circuit. The car is broken. It's out of control. And it's going off. It's going in the wall. It is in the wall. Are we going to get a safety car, I wonder? And I imagine what's about to happen here, we're going to see Reese dive into the pit lane. And to retire the car. 3-second time penalty for Jonas. And are we about to see our first retirement of the afternoon? There he is, out of the race. So 1 retirement down, 17 to go. Hopefully not 17 to go, but you know what I meant. Second and third then closing up. McLaren versus Mercedes. Constructors champion last year. Potential Constructors champion this year. And what we definitely can say, this is not going to be the Constructors champion this year, but still looks pretty. Up front, now 1.6 second gap, slightly closing here. And is there going to be a potential for a move down in towards turn number 1, I wonder? Mercedes, is he going to be close enough for a dive? Well, it seems the McLaren felt like it. A little bit of a cover up the inside. These cars, of course, with the ERS, with the overtake, extremely powerful from my understanding on this game. Further back, we've got the other Sauber into the pit lane. So the one remaining Sauber in this race, also in the wars as well. And it's Canard leading this race by 1.6 seconds. Of course, Jason, with that 3-second time penalty, is not going to help his cause. As further down the field, what have we got going on down here? Let's have a look. A little bit of a battle coming out of the pit lane, potentially, I see, as we've got, there is McHugh and there's Mikey. Is he close enough to make a move? DRS not open on the McLaren, so it's going to be a tall order to come through there. Ninth and 8 still close together then, and we have got, actually to be fair, a lot closer gap up front as well. Now, do you know what I mentioned last time? Potentially we have a move coming down towards turn number 1. Are we going to see the audacious dive from Rob? Here we go, DRS enabled, down the straight, pulling up to a 200 miles an hour, pulls to the inside, late on the brakes, can't quite do it down into number 1. But, now, if my eyes don't deceive me, that gap coming down. That's into the pits on lap number 10. Comes the Ferrari. So, you know what, lads? I was correct. We're seeing pit stops around about lap 9. I think I get myself a gold star for that guess. Because I have no idea about strategy. So if I'm going to guess, that'll be mediums. Yellow flags. That is an Alpine off the road. And front right end plate off. And that, I'm going to presume, is a tank slapper out turn number 1. These cars incredibly difficult to control. Now, is that just a front wing end plate gone, or is there more damage to that Alpine? Indicating by the fact it turns about as much as the real Alpine in real life. Who knows? And definitely problems there. Further down the field again, we have Rosso and Kenzie battling together. Of course, Kenzie with the time penalty yet to stop, so I believe that's Rosso who's presumably just overtaken him, as Bonnie gets a 3-second time penalty up front. Back to the leaders, and look what it is, they're all caught together. Haas, McLaren, and then comes the Mercedes, DRS down the straight. Is there going to be any moves right now? Don't think so quite so yet. In towards turn number 1, but a big mistake there, and there could be an opportunity on the exit with the DRS, but I think that slowing on the exit might have just protected him, unless, of course, we can see some audacious moves around the outside. In comes 1-2 cars. That's both the Aston Martins at the pit lane. Here we go. Up the inside, think of it. but not quite so yet. Gets on the curb, runs out wide. Wants to be careful, doesn't get a time penalty from that, running the Jos Verstappen helmet, I must admit that. Lap 11 of 35. And further down the field, we have Rob just behind, just minding his business, just waiting his time. Now, if I'm thinking about this, I am going to wait for a mistake. Well, never mind. There's the mistake, right on cue. And through he goes, and up into second position. Wow. You say I've got commentators' curses. I've still got it, lads. Still got the tricks. Can still do it. Rob up into second position then, and presumably, you've got to wonder, is he coming in the pit lane, the leader? Yes, he is. Lap number 11, stretching those medium tyres all the way round. And in he comes then for his first stop, and I'm going to presume hard compound tyres straight on the car. And I'm going to guess this now to the end of the race, potentially, or maybe one more stop for another set of mediums towards around about lap 28. What that does mean is we scroll through the field, and where is Kennard going to come out? Going to be very close to the Red Bull, who swoops around the outside, and you've got to be careful you don't make contact on the exit. Down the hill they go, and I think the Red Bull, a little bit of contact, decided, I'm not going to battle this one. I've got to stop. I've got a wife and kids at home, and I don't fancy being in a barrier because I know what this game's like, and one of them will end up in a wall because that's how this game works. Ferrari down in 7th position, just following behind. Of course, we have got, who is the second position then, technically? It is Beret, and I do apologise if I do cough occasionally. I am still recovering from a minor illness that occurred with me, so I'm on the mend, don't worry, but my throat's still hurting, so we're giving it our best. We're lap 12 of 35, in comes the leader, and now, is this potential for an undercut strategy? Those tyres looking about as well done as the steak I tried to do the other week, and in fact I overcooked it and it wasn't very nice. Out he comes, and let's see. Where is the Haas going to be? And I've got a feeling it's going to be around about 2-3 seconds ahead with the count for the very, very powerful undercut in this game. And around about 1.7, 1.8 seconds behind. So we're losing about 2 seconds there due to that one. Meanwhile, right behind, my favourite man in the world, currently battling in 6th position. And he has got an Aston Martin right up his chuff. And it is my dear old Mason. Let's see. Around the outside, here he goes, and the last man I commentate occurs, and hopefully it doesn't end in tears. And it doesn't, backs out of it there. Of course, on a different strategy right now, on the hard compound tyres, stretching as far as he can possibly go. And I reckon around about lap 18 to 25, potentially, or at least 22, for him to get to. If anyone can say how long the mediums and the hards last, would be good, because of course, not played this game before at all. Apart from the few times where I've hit a ball at many miles an hour by spinning. In comes Jason into the pit lane from now, well, was first, and this will drop him down to around about 3rd or 4th position. I have to say, Beret, who is possibly in this battle still, coming around the last corner. And let's see, up towards the line. And is there a possibility to overtake that McLaren down towards turn number 1? It's going to get awfully close here down towards turn number 1. In fact, it's not going to be close towards turn number 1 because he's behind him. So, there goes that one. And the undercut, extremely powerful around here in Hungary. Of course, the first race behind the Iron Curtain, hosting back in, I believe, if memory serves, 1986, when I was minus many years. And, well, very minus many years, actually. And thank you very much. And there's Colin in the chat, my dear friend. Yes, Mason's doing well. I've not cursed him yet, Colin. Yet. I've cursed one person. It will happen. I have a theory something's going to go wrong for someone again in a minute. It normally does. Top 3 closing back together again. Of course, it's Lawrence leading the way. Kennard now kind of getting caught up behind here, and this is allowing Rob to really close up. Now, what Rob wants to do here is what I said was going to happen earlier. And just wait, and then you'll get an opportunity in a few seconds' time. And there we go, up the inside. You'll potentially get the DRS, the double dose, and now's your opportunity down the straight. And now which way are you going to do? Are you going to do the audacious dive down in towards turn number 1? Think's better, Robert, so far. DRS not quite so powerful, but definitely Canard struggling on the exit. But there's a possibility here, Lou. Up the hill, round the outside. And can he do it? Yes, he can. Right round the outside of Canard. Into the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. And I have a lump in my throat coming already. We're not even halfway through the race. 10-second time penalty for Mikey for speeding in the pit lane. And if it could go bad, it's got certainly a lot worse. And I believe now everyone apart from the Mercedes down the back yet to stop in this race. Mason has just stopped, currently running down in 14th position. Up front, Rob leads, Canard second. Lawrence, the only other person actually yet to stop, comes in now. Rob, fastest lap of this race, a 1 minute 19.2. Further down the field, a bit of a gap forming so far. We've got potential for the Aston Martin to come through. Here we go with the DRS now. The overspeed coming, he knows he's coming, goes to the inside, and it's like taking candy from a baby around the outside. Lock up from the Aston Martin, lock up from the Sauber, round the outside goes the Aston Martin, and shades of what was, I believe, it was Piquet and Senna in 1987 there. Around the outside, all drifting around there. Of course, circuits changed quite substantially since then. In fact, if I remember correctly, turn 1 was a lot sharper downhill, a lot more quicker. And of course, a lot of sector used to cut through right out of where the Mercedes are currently going through right now. As everyone going through, was that nearly around? Nearly was. He's kept it though. Another down the field. Bit of a battle going on here. Red Bull, Ferrari, another red. Hang on a minute, they've got two different. This is illegal. Someone get the stewards on board here because that is not allowed. They're running different liveries for the two racing bulls. But here we go. Is he going to go around the outside? Yes, he is. That Ferrari's got damage. And there's trouble. And there's Jason. Is it Jason? Who's in trouble? It's Mikey. Mikey in trouble. My apologies. And is that a safety car that's been deployed, or is it just full yellow flags? Is that a safety car? Or we got VSC? I don't know. So, there's yellows, I can tell you that one. Full course yellow. In comes the two Ferraris. I believe that's a VSC we've got currently going on. Like I say, new to this game. Normally it says on the top left, VSC. Hard to the end, potentially. So, yeah, definitely VSC currently out then. Lap 17 of 35, 20 odd laps to go. Yeah, definitely. Oh, well, Rob has just got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. Now, surely that's going to be diving straight in. Oh, dear. Has he caught it? Yes, he has. But there goes the lead back to Canard. And there is certainly big problems now for that Mercedes driver. He's caught it. We've got a yellow flag and we've got Rosso off. The Ferrari. Now, what has happened to that? Is that a retirement on circuit? Or is there damage? On board with Mason might see. I think that's a retirement on circuit there. Now, is there going to be a safety car from that one? I don't believe so. But definitely a surprise right there. So, Rob with the drive-through penalty is going to put him right down the order then. And he's all over the place. He is absolutely furious. Oh dear, sunshine. And he's absolutely going balls to the walls sideways through these corners. And he is trying his best. But he's going to be pitting this lap, I reckon, for that drive-through penalty. Three-second time penalty to Jason for exceeding track limits. You just calm down, sunshine, and get yourself in the pit. You've got a long way to go. In he comes. As long as you don't do a David Coulthard, we'll all be fine. And I've done that plenty of times, and it's not fun. 10-second time penalty as well for Rob for speeding in the pit lane. And it's gone from bad to worse, and we got yellow flags. Now, what's that for? No idea. What? It was one of you. And there's a Mercedes going slowly. And who is that going? So that's Kenzie getting out of the way. So trouble for both the Mercedes this afternoon. And if it could rain, it's certainly pouring. As here comes, I believe, the Red Bull of Fury up the inside of Saloon. But it's Lau going up the inside, or is that Kinsey going up the inside? It's a Williams going up the inside of someone. And Williams battling Red Bull as they're on the outside, nearly cutting him off there. And going a little bit deep for it. Now, here's a good opportunity then, if you can get the cars trained up with the ERS to go for a move then around the outside. But thinks better of it so far. Backs off down into 6th gear. And everything carries on its merry way. 3 retirements from this race. Reese earlier on with a rear wing failure. Mikey with something. And Rosso with definitely something else. And still fighting back through the field. Rob Big Bottle. Now, definitely had a choice, and he's in trouble now, as here is Larkin. Up the inside he goes. And Mercedes passing the Alpine, well, I will say, down in towards turn number 1. Pulls across his line, nearly gets a little bit of a love tap from the Alpine driver. And is Rob bottling it, like Arsenal normally do in football, though they're not doing it right now. Up front, Kennard leads now 5.2 seconds up front. Jason in 2nd, Beret in 3rd, Rob currently in 4th, and yet to serve that drive-through penalty, I believe. Let's have a look. One of these buttons will say 13 seconds. I think he did serve it. Yes, he definitely did serve it whilst I wasn't watching. Larkin, though, 5th position. Currently, I believe, and it's going to be... Is it P3? I'm very sideways currently. Last time I saw Larkin, he was in P1, Nick. What's happened to him? Is the downfall begun? Well, he's certainly coming in the pit lane. And in he comes then to get a set of hard tyres, I believe, on this car. Let's see. In he comes, set of hards. And he comes, another set of hards. Now, where is he going to rejoin? Oh, on the inside there. There is the Williams doing a very late sudden switch for. I nearly didn't call that, but here comes the Red Bull. Back up the inside. Is he alongside enough with the DRS? No DRS on that Red Bull. Is there any opportunity up the inside? The Williams holding its line. Can't quite do it there, and you've got to be careful of the Racing Bulls. Not too far behind. As Lukey, yep. Up front still, 5.2 seconds now. The gap's starting to spread out between the field. Whilst we look through, this is the main battle going on so far. And Fury going a little bit wide through that corner. And this is the corner I historically have always had horrible accidents in. Very easy to, what's the word? Have a tank slapper and hit the left side of the wall. Or do a Perez. Done that many times. And we've almost seen it happen in this race, so being at the last corner. Let's hope we don't see another one. As in comes the Aston Martin. Taking a little bit of a conservative approach in the pit lane, I will say. A bit later than that, I think. As here we go, back on board with the Racing Bulls. Thinking about a move down in towards turn number 1. No cream pies on offer. Well, the only thing's on offer is a barrier. That's what's for certain. And did it taste very good? I don't think so. The taste of the Armco barrier strikes again. And there is another car that's having a torrid afternoon, potentially. And, well, it wasn't very rich. And it certainly is going to very much damage the race. Jonas, 3-second time penalty up front, exceeding track limits. So, still, as they remain, everyone together, see the gap to the leader. 1 minute 30 between first and currently last, but last has had a issue in this race because he is a lap down. To do a stop, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers on their second stop this afternoon, with, well, the rest of them presumably yet to stop, and I've got a feeling we're going to see one of them in around about 3 seconds. No, we're not. A brave strategy, staying up. Front wing is gone, but I think we've got an overtake going on here. Here comes Larkin, and now which way is he going to go? Inside, outside? Certainly inside. Down on the brakes, and job is done, or is it? The old switcheroo. Has he got DRS? No, he hasn't, because it's a double dose around this circuit. Solau up front. Well, currently down in 12th, but it's currently up front on the top of my screen. Currently first lap of this race. 1 minute 18 then, so pushing on there as here comes the Aston Martin as well, having a look up the inside, and that is Bonnie on the queue. Can't quite do it there. Well, with over half the race to go, just under half of it yet to go, and there is the Mercedes struggling on. And you have to wonder, looking down at it, is that car got damage on it? It's certainly struggling, that's for certain. But soldiering on, and that's what we like to see with your issues. Jason in the pit lane then for his second and final stop. And Kenzie gets a 3-second time penalty just on cue of me saying soldiering on for exceeding track limits. And there is Lawrence, and a little bit close on the front left, but just about gets away with it. Next opportunity, down into turn number 5, sets it up, goes too deep, wants to be careful on those curbs, and now the best thing you're going to do is push the ARS and go absolutely to the left, or is he going to go to the right? Thinks better of it so far. There's a long race to go, and you've got DRS potentially. The better tyres. The car ahead on the one-stop strategy, you're on the 2. And now at the inside, nearly contact there. Up the inside he goes, job a good one. Well, those tyres very much going off on the Racing Bulls now. So, Jason, all he needs to do is keep it on the road, and surely third place potentially coming his way. If not, well, definitely second, maybe first still. The gap was about 5.4 seconds the last I looked. And there is the leader. Up front, doing his job. Doing well, as in comes Beret into the pit lane for his second stop of the afternoon. Should come out pretty close to Larkin, I believe, just behind him, down in towards turn number 1, unless, of course, we see some very late braking from the Aston Martin driver. Rob, 1 minute 18.5 in the McLaren, pushing certainly as hard as he can do after that mistake earlier on. Mercedes, not McLaren. Clouds starting to form above the circuit though. Well, there's the Alpine now faster of Jonas as the Aston Martin mounting the curb on his merry way to chase down the fellow driver ahead of him, and that is of course the Alpine. Currently the closest gap on this field. We've got Bonnie further down the field having a bit of a battle potentially with Salau, and I believe just behind McKeoy as well. And I will one day pronounce all these drivers' names correct. But so far, I think there is an opportunity down towards turn number 1. On board we go with the Aston Martin. Looking back on board we go with the Alpine. And is there going to be a little bit of a dive down in towards turn number 1? Or is it going to be the straight DRS pass? Well, he's certainly close enough. 0.2 of a second. Now, are we going to be pulling to the inside? Yes, we are trying to break the toe. But here we go. Down the straight. Which way are you going to go? Left or right? Go to the left then, round the outside. Late on the brakes. Hards versus medium tyres. Trying the old switcheroo, but can't quite do it on the exit. A good little bit of braking manoeuvres there. And Larkin just about staying ahead then of the Aston Martin, who is going to be wanting to come ahead as soon as physically possible to get his way and try and chase after the cars ahead. But the Alpine doing wonderfully, making that car as wide as it go, and we have a yellow flag. That's in the pit lane, I believe, is that? No, that's down the straight, and that must be Kenzie getting out of the way on the map. No way through here. Next straight, down towards turn number 1. And which way is he going to go this time? He's going to have to dummy him. He's going to have to make him go right and make him go and then go left and then do the old switch. That's going to be the way I'm going to say this is going to go. Jason potentially going to undercut Callum. There is a chance. 19 seconds as in comes the race leader actually. And it is going to be awfully close then. Down towards turn number 1. And Jason is going to lead here in Hungary. And are we going to finally see that move then? Down the back, we got more yellow flags, and that looks like another car trouble. But here comes the Aston Martin now, shooting around the outside. Has he got the car run up the inside? Just about with the DRS on the outside. Job is done, and now he can go and try and chase after Kimley, who's currently running in 3rd position. But up front, McLaren, Haas. That's the battle so far. The plucky American trying to chase down the audacious Brit. But with the time penalty of 6 seconds, it's going to be difficult to win this race. He's going to need, certainly, something very spectacular to happen in the next couple of laps. When the gap is certainly keeping close. And, well, that's certainly not going to help the situation. He needs something to happen. That's not the something he was hoping for. 3-second time penalty, and really, all Callum can do, just sit behind if he wants to. Take it easy, get to the end of the race. But we know these are racing drivers. We know what's going to happen. Here we go, down towards turn number 1, up the inside he goes, and keeps the inside. The McLaren's going to try around the outside again. He's not giving it up, is he? He's still there. He's still there. And now surely he's going to think better of it. Backs out. Knows right now, but possibly, unless a mistake comes from Callum, that race is going to be going the way of the Haas with lap 28 of 35, meaning we have got some 7 and a bit laps to go in this race. As further down the field, I believe a battle starting to brew between Rich and Mason. Down the straight we go. With the DRS. Now this C, over speed, goes to the inside. Down the inside it goes, down towards turn number 1. The easiest position to make on this circuit. Is there any opportunity for the up and under? Not on this occasion. Though, looking at the clouds, ever so getting more and more dark. Now I'm not saying there's going to be rain, but it would be very ironic if it did start raining. Because I've just said it. But still, top 2 leading the way. Callum, 117.8. Far lying away now at the front of this grid. Pushing faster and faster and faster. Kinley in third. Lawrence in fourth, battling away with the Aston Martin, going up the inside, down the straight. And a very easy manoeuvre there from the Aston Martin. Up into fourth position. As further down the field, still having a little bit of squiggle on. Down towards the braking zone as the race starts to come towards its closing phase. And to the chat, who do you think is the driver of the day? Because that is always something I like to see. Who do you think's doing well? I'm going to say, despite having the 9 seconds of time penalties, Jason is doing extremely well in that McLaren. As into the pit, I believe that's Mason in the pits at the back. Yes, it is. And that's going to be for, I presume, another set of medium tyres. Or is that a set of softs? Soft tyres on the Ferrari, goes to the end of the race, 7 laps. Drops behind Kenzie, but will have superior tyres, so potential for a little bit of a late comeback for Mason there to overtake. After lap one, somewhere in the outer row. So, I tell you what, Jason, I don't think Jason's going to get second here. Kenny closing up. Beret's closing up as well. And from the issues on the first lap, now in that position for the podium from the Williams after pointing backwards on turn number 1, or especially on the first lap. The other Williams as well, Salau down in 10th, having his own onto race, but again, not too far away. Okay, maybe he's a bit further away than I thought, but still. 5 laps to go then, here in Hungary. Gap now opening to just under 5 seconds, just over 5 seconds nearly now, between first and second. We're right on board with Larkin, following the very pink car ahead of him. Hards versus hards for these two drivers. Yellow flags, and that is, I believe that's Kenzie getting out of the way. Yeah, that is. So Kenzie has either had a mistake or is something's gone certainly wrong for him, because he's now down into last position. Leaders coming up to lap both of them very shortly as we keep an eye on the battle for 5th, 6th, 7th position, not too far behind. And here we go then, down towards turn number 1, up the inside, down the straight, DRS manoeuvre, and very easy does. Low potential for DRS comebacks down towards turn number 3. I believe the DRS should slot open on that car. No. Okay, the DRS directing point is... Is it all just at the last corner? I thought that was 2. Oh, this is 1. Okay, good to know. Bonnie down in 9th. Salau down in 10th. Lawrence with a 3-second time penalty, so that's only going to help Larkin's job even more then. So it's a straight fight now between the Mercedes and the Racing Bulls. And there, the prophecy of wet rev up, it's starting to rain. Here on that 31 of 35. Now, how heavy is that rain going to be if it comes in time? Are we going to see some late race drama here at the Hungaroring? As certainly Rob's trying to make his way through. 3-second time penalty for 1, 3-second time penalty for 2, and round the outside thinking about it, up the inside thinking about it. DRS is up the line, and it should be a little bit of a twitch on the rear end down the straight. But with that rain falling, is it going to get heavy enough? And how quick's it coming? Are we going to see a dive? Not yet. DRS from Larkin really helping Lawrence there, but a big mistake on the exit. And the car's starting to twitch ever so more then. Up the inside, there's contact! And there's a little bit of a lunge. Now, is that going to be a little bit too audacious? It certainly was on the edge, but he's done it, and he's through up into 6th position. Currently in 3rd, still moving away, but it's getting closer. It's Kinley and Beret not letting him escape up the road. Those medium tyres doing well against the hards, which I believe 15 laps to 7 laps. So, is there anything he can do? Raindrops now coming down on the screen a lot heavier. The car's struggling around ever so slightly. Currently, the best position gainer in this race. Jonas up 7 positions so far, but it is Kennard who's led from start. Looks like he's going to take it to the flag as well. And a bit of a battle in the middle, but currently now 8.5 seconds up the road. Jason still potentially on for this second position, but right now all eyes on that final step of the podium. Kinley, Beret, and further back we've got Larkin having a bit of a battle potentially, as in comes one of the cars. Now what is that for? A set of intermediate tyres. Is there late race drama then here in Hungary? The first driver on intermediates. Doesn't look particularly right out there, but we'll see what happens. He's taken the gamble, and will the gamble pay off? I've seen it before, and there's trouble. Who's that going slowly? That's the Mercedes. Really struggling. Are we going to see the cars coming in on this lap for intermediate tyres, I wonder? Leader stays out. And about second and third. They're thinking potentially. Second stays up, but you can see the rear end twitching around. It's certainly getting heavier. What grip has these cars got, and what grips that Williams got? It's not got a lot on it. It's raining! There's a big snap on the rear of 1. A big snap on the rear of 2. And DRS still enabled. But are we going to get any more opportunities in this race? It's going to come down to who's got the best tyres. And I can tell you one thing, it's not that Williams. Struggling. Aston Martin behind, pushing on, but you can see just how twitchy it is on the front. He can barely get it going in a straight line. I will be glued to the screen. Larkin pulling away a little bit there from Rob. Over down the field, another car coming in for intermediate tyres. And a 10-second time penalty. And that is Jonas into the pit. Now, where is that car? And there's more cars coming up the inside. Harvesting for one final attempt. But look at Lawrence. He's flying, I think, right now on these tyres. Up 1, 2, 3 positions. And now you can see, look how heavy it's coming down. What do these drivers do right now? No opportunity to come in. So it's to the flag. Through the last corner. And here we go. Callum leads the final lap of this race. Jason in second. All eyes currently on third position. As through the last corner comes Kinley. But look how much they're struggling to get on the traction right now. And I think Kinley might just about have done that potentially. But still 1 lap to go. One treacherous, tricky, wet weather lap. They're all on the dries. It's raining out there. And further down the field, I must wonder how Laurent is doing. He's certainly pulling away. Definitely potential for at least 8th, maybe 7th position if these conditions get any worse. Looking down Kinley, drifting around, but I think he's done enough right now, unless something goes drastically wrong. Tyres which are over 18 laps old, I think they were. They were certainly old. 18 laps on the dot, so life expectancy 0 on them. But up front, leading the way, doing everything absolutely right. Through the last corner, a little bit of a drift. Here comes Callum then, through the last corner, to take the victory then here in Budapest with a wee old slide through the exit. He takes the win then here in Hungary. Jason looks like he's going to get second position. No, I think he's going to get third through the last corner. And it's Jason in provisional second, but I feel that might drop down to third, maybe fourth. Here comes the William. What a recovery then from the back of the grid. Up into third, up into second. What about third? It's close. but it's not close enough. Jason in third, Beret in fourth, Larkin's going to come across the line in fifth. Rob with a big old tank slapper will come across the line in sixth. We'll drop down, I think, a few positions. We've got a car off. Or something's going on. Seventh then for McHugh. Lawrence 8th. Bonnie 9th. Waiting on Salau then through the last corner. What has not been the best afternoon for the Williams driver. Across the line in 10th. Jonas didn't quite do it on those tyres. And will cross the line in 11th. And then we're waiting on Rich and the car, which has gone off the road, I believe that. And I do feel sorry here for Fury. He's got to be the last driver driving around in the worst conditions he can have. He's going to give us a little bit of a slide through the corner. And here in a topsy-turvy race then, here in the Hungary, gives us a little bit of a slide through the last corner. Thank you very much, Nick. Through the last corner, give us a bit of a drift. Come on. There we go. Up to the line. Just about crawls it across. To finish down in 13th. With Jason in 14th. And the Mercedes in 15th. And oh, don't worry. I remember. Up to the podium then. And the Haas driver. Top step on the podium. The Welshman with another lovely race, I will admit. And the eyes of the mechanics. Slightly terrifyingly looking up. As here comes the champagne then for the race. And then we shall go through the provisional, counting any late race penalties going on through there. So it's Callum who wins the race then from Kimley in second, Jason in third, Beret ahead of Larkin, Rob, McHugh, Lawrence, Bonnie, Salau, Rich, Jonas, Fury, Mason, Kenzie, Rosso, Mikey, Reese at the back. 3 DNFs in this race. And well, we will say, certainly, that has been a certified comeback, and I think I still have it. I think I might still have it. But unless I've missed something that I need to do, I've done that, and that. I believe we shall round the stream up, and hopefully you can't hear the audio. I forgot to mute it. So have some music. I should probably end the stream before we get told off. Sponsors, we'll do them again. Hopefully you can't hear the audio from the music. And let me find it. Hang on. To our sponsors and partners. To Delta.app, the title sponsors of the league. All your investments in one app. Make smart decisions like the world's top investors. And track your journey to success with Delta. To Next Level Racing, sponsors of the league, providing the same prizes each season. To Sim Racing Setups, they provide a Pro Setup bundle for F1 25. Pure Sim Gear, Vespertine, and Sim Grid as well. Well, I think that will be done for tonight. I really like the music going on in the background. But, from me, maybe we might get my code com back again. Who knows? Maybe we'll find another com. I have no idea what's going on. Maybe I'll be on PC next week. Hopefully not. We know how that normally goes. But until next time, I have been evil, and my lump in my throat is coming, so I shall go. Take care, and good night.